Greetings. I welcome you all to this 1-week online faculty development program on entrepreneurship, research, critical thinking and innovation organized by Indian Academic Researchers Association and Indian Accounting Association, Tiruchirappalli. I am Dr. T.J. Arun, Assistant Professor, deputed from Annamalai University, presently working in PG and Research Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, Dharmaburi, Tamil Nadu. The topic of current session is Startup India leads to technopreneurship. In this session, we are going to learn three broad areas, namely Startup India and technopreneurship. The topics to be covered in these areas are basics of startups, key points and workings of startups, difference between entrepreneur and startup founder, Startup India initiative and its objectives, action plan for Startup India by Government of India, role of incubators in the growth of startups, types of funding available to startups, meaning of technopreneurship, technopreneurs globally and nationally, essentials of technopreneurship, and finally, difference between entrepreneur and technopreneur. So these are the important areas that we are going to learn in this present session. To begin with, first let us understand what startup is. A startup is a new company that is being founded by one or more entrepreneurs. The purpose of forming a startup is to develop a specific, that is, unique goods or services to fulfill the needs of the consumers. Not only they develop the products, but also they perform the function of bringing the products to the market to meet the demands of the consumers. As the startup founders do not have much of money to spend for their business, startups are considered as shoestring organizations. Initial funding for the startups are usually done by the founders themselves, their relatives and their friends. The key points in startup business are: a startup is essentially an entrepreneurial venture. Almost every startup searches for the required financial support to start the entrepreneurial venture. To attract the attention of the lenders and investors, the founders of startups will be trying to convince the validity of the new concept of their business to the investors and lenders. To succeed in the venture, the founders of startups need to prove that either the idea of their venture is entirely new or extraordinary improvement is being done in the existing ideas. So, these altogether makes the venture risky, and it is evident that most of the startups struggle to survive. But there are startups that are very successful in their venture by innovatively overcome the initial hiccups. To name few of the successful startups globally, the three startups that immediately come to our mind is Microsoft, founded by Bill Gates, Ford Motors, founded by Henry Ford, and McDonald's, founded by Ray Kroc, who is considered as a giant in the restaurant field. We all know how familiar and successful these three great personalities are. Now let us see how these startups are working. Every startup company has an idea that need to be developed. That is, they might have identified needs or areas that can be improved upon. They need to work for the development of that particular idea. Then, the developed idea should be tested with regard to how well the business will stand up in the market. The business idea could be tested through competitive analysis to predict its success in the future. Finally, the tested idea or product may be marketed for the consumption of the consumers. In the initial stage, the startup company's revenue will be lesser than its expenses, since they completely focus on developing, testing, and marketing their idea or product. Let us see the differences between entrepreneur and startup founder. Entrepreneur as an individual looks for profitable opportunities like any other business. That is, their main aim is to achieve financial success, whereas a startup founder who associates with others found a startup company with the hope of becoming successful businessman in the future. That is, they do not give priority for financial motives. The second difference is that entrepreneurs completely focus on earning money, but the startup founders' focus will be on creating a product that changes the entire world. Thirdly, entrepreneurs try to sell or trade products for the survival. On the contrary, startup founders want to become famous or prove that anything is possible in business. That is, they like to become role model for others. Finally, entrepreneurs, among other tasks, they also concentrate on the selling process, whereas the startup founders do not worry about the selling process. Instead, their concentration will be in developing a new product or service. So, these are the important difference between an entrepreneur and a startup founder. Let us move on to the second part of the session, that is the Startup India initiative. Startup India is an initiative of the Government of India. The campaign was first announced by the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi on 15th August 2015 during his Independence Day speech. Within 5 months from its announcement, the Startup India initiative was officially inaugurated on 16th January 2016 by the former Finance Minister Mr. Arun Jaitley, with the presence of many leading CEOs, startup founders, and venture capitalists. An entity to be considered as startup in India need to fulfill certain important criteria. First one is the entity should have its headquarters in India. The second criterion is with respect to the company's age, that is, period of existence and operations should not be exceeding 10 years since its incorporation. The next criterion is that the entity's turnover should be less than rupees 100 crore. Another important criterion is the entity should be incorporated as a private limited company, a registered partnership firm, or a limited liability partnership. The final criterion is that the entities should have the objectives of work towards innovation, development, and commercialization of their new products. Next, we shall move on to the objectives of Startup India initiative. The Startup initiative was intended to build a positive ecosystem for the development of innovation in India. The second objective is to promote startups that will drive sustainable economic development. Not to mention, the important objective of this initiative is to generate more employment opportunities. The next objective is to spread this initiative from digital, that is, technology sector, to other sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, healthcare, education, etc. The final objective is to stretch the startups in Tier 2 and 3 cities for the development of semi-urban and rural areas of India also. To meet the objectives of Startup India initiative successfully, Government of India has framed the following 3 important action plans. They are: number 1, simplification and hand holding; number 2, funding support and incentives; number 3, industry academia partnership, and it also focuses on incubation. Let us see these core areas of action plan one by one. The first action plan is simplification and hand holding. Under simplification, the process for compliances under various acts has been simplified by the central government. Self-certification can be done by the startups with respect to compliances to be followed with respect to labor, environment laws and other laws. To tell you one such example, in case of environment laws, those startups classified as white category by the Central Pollution Control Board, they can follow self-certified procedure. To exchange knowledge and to have access to funding, Startup India Hub is being established. The Ministry of Human Resource Development and Department of Science and Technology jointly took an initiative to set up over 75 startup hubs in India for the benefit of the startups. Startup entities may wound up within a period of 90 days from the date of application for winding up requisition. The second action plan is funding support and incentives. Under funding support, central government provides various fund-based facilities to the startups. In order to provide funding support, Central government has created funds of fund scheme for startups with a corpus of rupees 2,500 crore per year for 4 years since 2016. The profits earned by startups are exempted from income tax for a period of 3 years since their inception, subject to certain conditions. If a startup invests its long-term capital gains in the funds notified by the central government, then tax exemption is given on such capital gains. Reduction in patent registration fees, credit guarantee fund for startups, tax exemptions on investments are the other important action plans in the area of funding and incentive support. The third area on which the government focuses its action plan is industry-academia partnership and incubation. I would say this action plan is more important than the other two action plans. To expand the incubation facility, Government of India has established innovation centers at national institutes, and also the government has set up new research park institutes with initial investment support. The government selects every year 10 incubators on the basis of performance indicators and provide them with 10 crore financial assistance to improve their infrastructure for the benefit of startups. This promotional measure is named as Annual Incubator Grand Challenge. Exploiting private sector for incubation setup is also an important area that government focuses for its action plan. Launching innovation related programs for students, promoting startups in biotechnology sector are some of the other actions of government. Now let us see the framework of startup incubators. Incubators are managed by academic institutions, corporates, private players, and also by government to a certain extent. Majority of the incubators are financially supported by central and state governments through various funding schemes. This is where government expects more private players' participation in supporting incubators. Let us move on to the role played by startup incubators. Incubators play a key role in supporting the establishment of startups at the initial stage. They provide the following services to the startups. They share the office space with the startups. Incubators conduct mentoring programs, that is a program in which the successful startup founders share their experience with the budding startup founders. They also provide specialized equipments to the startup founders. They also support fundraising facilities. They help in the registration process, and also they provide technical assistance to the startups. Among many services provided by incubators, the most important is their support to startups in identifying first few clients for the startup business. That is, incubators help the startups by linking the buyers for their products. There are 100 plus startup incubators across the country, but one thing we have to notice is that they are mostly housed in academic institutions. There are various startup funding schemes available to the startups. Let us see them one by one. First one is bootstrapping. In case funding requirement is small, then bootstrapping could be the right choice of funding for the startups. Bootstrapping is a method of funding where the internal cash flow alone will be utilized for the business. That is, external sources of fund will not be considered. The second one is crowdfunding. It means gathering of funds from more than one investor. Investors could be family members, friends, and others. Third funding method is angel investors. Angel investors are those individuals who look out for promising startups and offer their fund in exchange of convertible debt or ownership equity in the startups. Venture capital is also one method of funding in which they provide fund to small and early stage startups. They like to take risk in financing risky startups. Incubators also lending their support for funding. Startups can raise fund from incubators by joining the startup programs organized by the incubators. Banks also supporting the startups with their many funding schemes. To name few of them: term loan, working capital loan, secured loan, etc., through which the startups may get their funding support. Finally, as we already discussed, the central government has already set up a fund of funds scheme to fund the startups with a corpus of rupees 10,000 crore. Now, let us see few interesting data with respect to recognized startups in India. As per Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade data, as on 1st March 2020, there are 28,979 recognized startups functioning in India. Another interesting data is that these startups have already provided more than 3 lakh employment opportunities in India directly and indirectly. As far as number of startups is concerned, Maharashtra stands first with 5,477 startups and Karnataka is placed in the second place with 4,206 startups as on 1st March 2020. For further reference, you can log on to the Startup India website. We shall move on to the third and final part of this session. That is an interesting and latest evolution called technopreneurship. According to Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, technology is always evolving and companies, not just search companies, can't be afraid to take advantage of change. He is of the opinion that every company should take the advantage of changes in technology and they should boldly take new technological changes in their business. The image in your screen depicts that if you are different, you need not worry about the failure. And if you happen to be the same as everyone else, you will start thinking of failures. That is, technopreneurship venture should be very different from other ventures. Technopreneurship is simply an entrepreneurship with technology-intensive context. It is a process that integrates technology, innovation, and entrepreneurial talent and skills. All these three requirements are very important for technopreneurship. Technopreneurship can be defined as manufacturing of high-tech products or making use of high technology to deliver products to consumers. That is, it is an entity that produces technology-related products or adopts latest technology in producing their products. Now let us understand who is a technopreneur. Technopreneurs are entrepreneurs in the field of technology. They use technology as their driving factor in transforming resources into goods and services and thereby creating an environment conducive for industrial growth. Technopreneurs should be technology savvy, they should be creative, innovative, dynamic, like to travel in unexplored path, very passionate about their venture. They also accept challenges and work hard for greater success. They never afraid of failures. Instead, they find new ways and means from the failures and prepares themselves to face the new challenge. They always look for continuous improvement in their business venture. The following are the required capabilities of technopreneurs. They should have knowledge of all latest developments in technology. They should be experts in their chosen field. Technopreneurs should be familiar with all new possible directions. They should be capable of giving definite shape for their venture. No doubt that technopreneurs should have long-term vision rather than short-term vision. Now let us see some successful technopreneurs globally. By saying some of the names of the technopreneurs, we can understand what is technopreneurship, what capabilities are required to become technopreneurs, where the venture will take the technopreneurs in their journey, and how successful the technopreneurs can be. To name them globally, Steve Jobs of Apple, Sergey Brin and Larry Page of Google, Bill Gates of Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. These four technopreneurs are very successful in their venture in the global scenario, and also we can appreciate what technology can do in technopreneurs' life. Let us have an insight of Indian technopreneurs also. There is a saying that goes like this: many will start fast, but only few will finish strong. So as only few technopreneurs are succeeding in their journey as far as India is concerned, it means more and more technopreneurs are starting their ventures successfully, but many of them are not successful in their venture. At the same time, there are successful technopreneurs who are performing exceedingly well in their venture. Here, let us see two interesting successful stories of technopreneurs in India. The first technopreneur is Yashraj Bhatia, an alumni of Delhi University. he is promoting local offline retail business with his online app called Bazaar. Bazaar is a smartphone application and is a platform for the retailers in the offline market. The offline retailers can showcase their products through this Bazaar application. The consumers can get information about the offline retailer's product and can buy the product from them. Currently, Bazaar has over 4,000 retailers listed on its app. The second story is all about a woman technopreneur, Sania Gupta. She is currently running her digital marketing firm named Digital Kangaroos in Ludhiana. The firm has clients from the US, Canada, Australia and India. It is a digital marketing firm that offers the services to the clients, namely social media marketing, search engine optimization, social media optimization, complete website development solution. They also offer content marketing services, graphic designing for marketing their products and whatnot. They offer many services to their clients. On being asked about what made her to start her venture, she told Times Next that I started taking small steps and launched my first blog. Slowly and stealthily, one thing connected the other, taking me closer to my dream. So, from these two living examples, we can understand what technology can do in the success of a technopreneur. The major factors that are available to technopreneurs which they can make use of to become successful in their venture are: the first contributor is unlimited opportunities. To say one example, we live in the age of information. That is, lot of information is available to technopreneurs. Not only technopreneurs, we all can get more information. Only thing is, with perfect business idea, the available information could be utilized for the growth of the business venture. People are in need of new technology almost every day. And also, the present generation expect things to be done very fast and easily. The said opportunities are contributing factors for the success of business venture. The second contributor is digital marketing. Around 600 million people are using internet in India. Internet expanded the market for technology-related products, namely e-commerce, remote work, or networking. So, more customers can be reached through digital marketing. Technopreneurs can choose best suppliers for the technical resources. Technopreneurs can provide better service through digital marketing, and thereby better relationship is created between suppliers and customers. The third contributor is reduced cost for operating the business. Unlimited opportunities and market expansion is cutting down the cost in favor of the technopreneurs. So, technopreneurs could tap this opportunity and Also, to add with this, the IT products are available at less cost but yield higher returns. So, they can make use of it in favor of their business venture. The fourth contributor is availability of more user-friendly facilities. Presently, any number of data could be easily and quickly accessed with the help of advanced user-friendly technology. For this, technopreneurs can supply better products or services to access and store data to satisfy the needs of consumers. Now, let us summarize the important qualities required for technopreneurs to succeed in their business. The first quality is to face challenges. Only dead fish go with the flow. That is, the technopreneurs should face challenges in their business venture like a live wire fish. It feels good to be lost in the right direction. The second quality is that technopreneurs should learn lessons from their failures when they travel in the right direction. Falling down is part of life. Getting back is living. The other important quality required for technopreneurs is that after failure, they should have the quality to come back again strongly in their business. When the wind of change blows, some build walls while others build windmills. Every technopreneur should have the quality to build windmills rather than building a wall. That is, they should be ready to exploit the changes to their advantage. So, these are the few essential qualities needed for the technopreneurs. Now, let us see how technopreneur and entrepreneur are different. Entrepreneur is a person who operates any type of business venture, whereas a technopreneur is an entrepreneur who prefers to operate technology-related business. The second difference is entrepreneurs like to compete in their business with their competitors, but technopreneurs like to innovate new ideas in their field of business. Entrepreneur has the ability to do many things at a time. At the same time, technopreneurs also has this ability to do many things at once, but they prefer to delegate the works to others since they like to work as a team. The fourth one is entrepreneur has a sole desire to achieve financial success, whereas technopreneur has a strong vision and passion towards innovation. The last one is entrepreneurs always like to work for themselves, but technopreneurs like to have control over innovation. Now let us see some of the insights given by the successful technopreneurs to the budding technopreneurs to understand what is needed for a technopreneur to succeed in their business venture. According to Sam Gicandi, CEO of Africa's Talking, understanding our customers' expectation and building our strategy to satisfy that expectation will always differentiate us from our competitors. According to Kane Wanju, Chief Technology Officer of Twiga Foods, technology should be used to scale up the business once we have already identified how to solve a problem, and he is of the opinion that technology plays a major role in the success of business. Irins Hu, an associate partner of Open Capital Advisors, opined that having the right skills and right team around you is very important for a technopreneur, because investors always value our business by looking at the strength of our team. So far in this session, we have learned the basics of startups, workings of startups, Startup India initiative and its important objectives, recognized status of startups in India, action plan of government with respect to Startup India, types of startup funding, technopreneurship, successful stories of technopreneurs globally and nationally, who is an entrepreneur, a startup founder and a technopreneur. With this, let me conclude the session. If you have anything to be shared with me, kindly mail me to arunjagan@yahoo.co.in. It will be my pleasure to join you all for further discussion. Thank you.